Hi, I'm David,
And I'm Melissa.
and we're your neighborhood realtors.
We're your neighbors here in Southeast Fresno.
And we happen to be realtors who specialize in Southeast Fresno.
As we've been focusing in on this area for a little over 2 years, we've also been providing quarterly updates to our immediate neighborhood on how the market is going and comparing our neighborhood to the surrounding zip code.
And as we share this on the Nextdoor app, we're realizing we're also connecting with several of the surrounding neighborhoods as well. So we want to start providing the same quality information for those particular neighborhoods. And today's blog is going to be a little bit longer than typical because we want to give you a good foundation of information about your neighborhood. We want to give you a strong history so you understand where you're at today and where you're going in the future. Hope you enjoy.
So today's video is going to be focusing on the Dr. Lennar neighborhood here and breaking down the values by square footage. And we call it the Dr. Lennar neighborhood because it's mainly comprised of Dr. Horton and Lennar homes. There are a few smaller builders in there as well, but these are the two main builders that comprise a majority of the neighborhood.
So about a year and a half ago, we started a quarterly update for our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is the red one on the screen, which we refer to as Beazer Lennar neighborhood. And in doing so, we realized we're reaching the surrounding neighbors as well. So we wanted to start focusing on a couple of the other surrounding neighborhoods. And this was in our long-term plan, so it was kind of convenient that it's already reaching out to you guys. So we break it down into 4 different sections. The Beazer Lennar, which is our current neighborhood, the Dr. Lennar neighborhood, as well as the Syntax in the green and the Syntax in orange. And the orange is a new construction neighborhood, which we won't start doing blogs on for probably another 6 months or so. We want to let this neighborhood get completed first.
So the big reason we wanted to follow the surrounding areas is because essentially they should all have very similar values, especially when comparing similar sized homes. And until recently, that really hasn't been the case.
In order to better explain this, we put together this graph for you. And this is a breakdown of all 3 neighborhoods from 2005 to current day. This is average sales price for homes that are 1,900 square feet in each individual neighborhood. As you'll notice, in 2005, both the Beazer Lennar as well as the Syntax neighborhood were in full swing of being built. They were selling for an astronomical price. Syntax averaged $350,000 in 2006, where Beazer was above $300,000 as well. And then the bubble popped, and the floor collapsed, and everything went with it. Now, the Dr. Lennar neighborhood didn't really start being built until 2008. Yes, there are quite a few homes in the neighborhood that were built before then. However, most of those homes built in the 2005-2006 range actually didn't sell for the first time until 2009-2010 as bank-owned properties. Now, what really causes a huge separation here is the Syntax and Beazer Lennar neighborhoods both were sold out in the mid to early 2000s. And as a result, 65% of these neighborhoods either foreclosed or were short sales, which drove down the price dramatically. Now, the Dr. Lennar neighborhood was simply new construction, so you'll notice that it's a lot flatter price because the builder was controlling it. And then once they were completed in 2014, they didn't really have anywhere to go because the surrounding neighborhoods were substantially less for similar sized properties built within 5-10 years of the most recent homes built. And it took another 2 years for the surrounding market to catch up to the Dr. Lennar neighborhood, and that's where we're at now. We're finally at an even keel price range across the 3 neighbors. So now that we've established that the 3 neighborhoods are relatively similar in price range now and comparable, we can do a generic synopsis of what's controlling the markets in our area. And the biggest variable right now is the difference between the smaller homes and the bigger homes. And what I mean by that is the smaller homes today are selling for a very strong price and have seen a great appreciation over the last 4 or 5 years. and they are continually growing and growing and growing and pushing the boundaries of what the bigger homes are selling for. Now, where this becomes dangerous is the smaller homes can't sell for more consistently than a bigger home. It's just the market will not allow it, appraiser will not allow it. And the issue we're running into is the smaller homes made up a majority of the foreclosed and short sold properties. So these owners who are owning them now are more willing to sell them than the bigger homes. And because the inventory of bigger homes hasn't really been established in our area, these homes haven't been selling. And because of that, the prices are still at about a 2014 to 2015 price range. They really haven't continually grown like the smaller homes.
So now that we've discussed the smaller and the larger homes, we want to define those just a little bit better. So the larger homes is going to be something that's commonly known as a trade-up home. It's going to be something that's 2,000 square feet or larger, and normally the buyer's going to already be a homeowner. They've outgrown their current home, and they're looking to trade into a larger home, normally due to expanding or growing family. Now, the smaller homes are commonly going to be known as a starter home. And most of the time, that's going to be a first-time home buyer, and the home's going to be under 2,000 square feet. And they're more than likely going to be using an FHA loan, so they need to be within the guidelines of a purchase price of $292,000 or less. So according to the National Association of Realtors, 2017 is really going to be driven by two major buying forces, and they're both going to be targeting those starter homes. First is going to be the millennials. They're finally ready to get out of their apartment or their parents' house and buy their own first home. They're more than likely going to be using an FHA loan, so again, they're targeting a home with a purchase price of $292,000 or less. Now, the second buying force, which is also a huge chunk of buyers, is going to be the baby boomers. Now that the millennials have finally moved out of their home, there is way too much home for them to take care of. They're tired of doing all the yard work. They don't need a 2,000 to 3,000 square foot home for two people. So now they're looking for their retirement/forever home, which more than likely is going to again fall into that starter home as far as size and price. Why have a larger mortgage when there's less people living there? So that's why we're seeing a really large push again in the smaller homes, because there's a much larger buying force for these smaller homes than the larger ones.
So this next slide breaks down what percent of each neighborhood is a trade-up home and what percent is a starter home. So as you can see, the Lennar neighborhood only is made up of 37% trade-up, which means a majority of the homes in this neighborhood are starter homes, where the Dr. Lennar neighborhood is 50% trade-up, which means this is a trade-up neighborhood. It's focused on trade-up size homes. Syntax is 45%, which means that it's a pretty balanced, a little bit in favor of the starter homes. But the Dr. Lennar neighborhood is the most important neighborhood in our surrounding area to control and grow the trade-up market, which if Dr. Lennar neighborhood continues to grow and gets a good strong appreciation this year going into next year, the surrounding neighborhoods will as well.
So the first size home we're going to focus on is the 1,200 to just under 1,400 square foot home. These are going to be mainly comprised of Dr. Horton homes. And there's not a lot of this size home in that neighborhood, and it is actually the smallest size square foot home in this or any of the surrounding neighborhoods. And the value we're seeing for this size home is right at $220,000.
So the next group of homes is going to be between 1,400 and just under 1,800 square feet. Now, this is a rather large variation of size, and typically we would break this down into 2 or 3 different size brackets depending on which groups are selling for what. We want to see a little bit difference in price before we group them together. However, over the last 6 months to a year, only one home in the Dr. Lennar neighborhood has sold within this size range, and it's sold for right around $235,000, which is not a good number for this size range. If you go to the Lennar or the Syntex neighborhood, you're seeing literally the same exact Lennar model or a similar Syntex model selling for the 250 to 255 price range. So right now, if you are thinking of selling and you sit down with a realtor and they pull up the numbers in this neighborhood, they're going to say 235 is a safe number. Appraiser's going to do the same. Now, understand that if you take a look at the surrounding neighborhoods for the same exact model or a similar model home, your value should be in the 250 to 255 range.
So the next size homes we're going to focus on is going to be 1,800 square feet to just under 2,000 square feet. And the prices we're seeing on these homes is going to be $265,000 to $270,000. Now, the reason why an 1,800 square foot home is selling for right around the same price as a home that's just under 2,000 square feet is the fact that the 1,800 square foot model is a single story home. Now, the model that's just under 2,000 square feet is actually a two-story home. Now, what difference does it make if it's a single story or a two-story? The single story has a lot more buyers. Now, like we discussed earlier, the baby boomers are looking to downsize and buy a home that's right around in this size, and they may not want a two-story home because as they're retiring and grow older, they may not be able to go up and down stairs easily. So they're going to mainly focus on the single-story home. So the single-story home is going to go up in value a little bit, even if it is a little bit smaller, just because there are more buyers for that home than the two-story.
Before we get into the breakdown of the trade-up size homes and their values, I wanted to show this breakdown of how the Dr. Lennar neighborhood is doing in comparison to the rest of our zip code inside of Sanger Unified School District. Now you'll notice on the slide, the Dr. Lennar average size home is a little bit smaller, about 200 square feet smaller than the rest of Sanger Unified, with a very similar list price, about $4,000 within each other on the average list price. And they're selling right around the same amount of time. It takes about 6 weeks to sell. Now, the concerning part is you'll notice the Dr. Lennar average selling price is $276,880. That's $33,000 less than list price, and that's about $30,000 less than the average sales price for the surrounding area. Now, why this is concerning is because this is the values that have been set in this neighborhood based off of past sales. So this is what an appraiser is going to look at. This is what a buyer is going to look at when making an offer on your home. And this is a huge red flag. So what we're seeing happening in the Dr. Lennar neighborhood that's causing this dramatic $33,000 price change from list price to sales price is when the property first hits the market, it is hitting the market either above what the market is saying it's worth or above what the appraisal value is saying it's worth. Now, those are two separate things. The market is what a buyer is willing to pay for a property. Now, they're not going to be just looking in the Dr. Lennar neighborhood. They're going to be looking over on Clovis and Church. They're going to be looking in Sanger Unified. They may be looking in Clovis Unified. And they have a set price range, and they're trying to find the best value for their buck. And they're going to be looking at about 12 homes before they make a decision. So let's say Mr. Buyer falls in love for this property for $310,000, and they write up an offer, and come appraisal time, 17 days into escrow, appraiser looks at the values for the neighborhood and realizes that this home isn't worth $310,000. It's worth closer to $275,000. Appraiser puts that value on it, then Mr. Buyer has the option of backing out or spending an extra $30,000, $35,000 to make up the difference. More times than not, buyers aren't going to have an extra $35,000 come out of pocket. So either the price is going to drop, meaning less money in your pocket, or they're going to walk away and you're going to have to put the house back on the market. Now, after a while, if your home goes back on the market, chances are you're probably going to lower the price. There's probably a reason you're selling. You either need to move for a job, or you're in escrow on another property that you already fell in love with that you don't want to lose. So you drop the price again. Then buyer number 2 comes in, realizes that house has been on the market for some time, even though half the time it was in escrow, as well as there's been a huge price drop. They're going to come in even lower because they're going to see vulnerability and try to take advantage of the seller. And chances are Mr. Seller is in a vulnerable situation and may need to take a lower offer. And that's where you see a $30,000 price difference. So understand the value of your home, understand what it will price for, and understand what the market will sell for on your home. So the next size range is going to be between 2,000 square feet and 2,200 square feet. And the average sales price right now, this is a conservative number, is about $275,000 plus. Now, ideally for this size home, we want to be pushing $292,000 and above. We want to be at or above that FHA price range, which we talked about earlier in this video. Now, the way we push the market up is not by throwing a $320,000 2,000 square foot property on the market, because the numbers don't support it, appraisal-wise, as well as the numbers don't support it market-wise. You need small incremental growth. Now, the way you do this is the next property may hit the market for, say, $280,000. There's plenty of room there for the market as well as appraisal to justify that number. And the next one goes $282,000 or $285,000, and incremental growth over the rest of the year. So going into 2018, we're looking at around $300,000 for this size range.
The next size home we're going to discuss is going to be 2,200 square feet up to just under 2,500 square feet. Now the value we're seeing on that is $290,000. Now that price is what we really want to see on more of the 2,000 square foot size home. But like we've said before, the market and appraisals just aren't there yet, and there's nothing to back that value. So we're again going to aim for incremental growth, and we're hoping that going into 2018, this home is going to be closer to 310, 315.
So the next size range is going to be between 2,500 and 2,700 square feet. And a conservative price range for these homes right now is $300,000. That is based off of what's sold in this neighborhood, period. It doesn't take into account what's sold in the surrounding neighborhoods. Now understand there's a huge difference between what sold in your neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. You need somebody who can build a good case for you with an appraiser to justify a higher price range. Now, where these homes should be selling today, if you are going to put one of these homes on the market, is between $315,000 and $325,000 max. Those are strong numbers that are supported by the surrounding neighborhoods, as well as the market will justify it, meaning buyers will spend that. Now, the 2,800 to 3,000 square foot home has a conservative value of about $310,000. This is very similar to the last size range, where the surrounding neighborhoods have been selling for more. And a $325,000 plus price range is justifiable for these size homes. Now, the reason why it's $325,000 plus is because homes that are listed below $325,000 are selling for more. There's comparable properties that have sold upwards to $335,000. However, homes listed for $335,000 are selling for less. So it's kind of, that falls in line with the game of real estate. So understand that a home that is listed for, say, $324,900 can sell for $335,000 plus. Good case of this is in the Lennar neighborhood. The most recent home, similar size bracket to this, was listed for $324,990. That home sold in one weekend for right around $338,000. Now, if you take that same home and you list it for $338,000, according to the market data for the surrounding areas, including all of Sanger Unified within 93727, that home will sit for upwards to 85 days and sell for substantially less. So understand that if you're thinking about selling your property, if you're thinking about refinancing, don't hesitate. We have those numbers available. We are more than happy to provide them for you. So when the appraiser does come to your home, you're giving them good, concrete evidence that your home's worth that. So don't walk away with $25,000, $30,000 less in your home valuation when it comes to time to refinance or sell.
So the last size that we're going to go over here is 3,000 square feet and up. So we gave this one a pretty conservative value of $325,000. Now, there are some sales in this neighborhood of this size of a home that were more in the $330,000 to $340,000. However, they sold about 18 months ago, and the normal appraiser only goes back about 6 months. So, if you are looking to sell this size home or again refinance, there are some sales that will back a higher price, and the market did back a larger price and was able to sell, but again, that was 18 months ago, and not a single home in that neighborhood of this size or even in the surrounding area has sold in the last 18 months. So first of all, if you've made it through this video, thank you for your time. We know we can get a little bit long. We really specialize in this area and we have way too much information than we could ever fit into any video.
Yes, especially me. I can talk all day on this type of stuff. I love my numbers. I love this neighborhood. I'm passionate about it and I love sharing this information. So hopefully we didn't make it too long, but it was good information and you learned a lot about the market you're in and why you're there.
And our goal, like this with all the rest of our videos, is to really help this area grow. We are invested. We purchased a home here and we plan on staying for the long haul. We see great value in this neighborhood, in the surrounding neighborhoods, the schools, and just the amount of home you get for the price just can't be beat.
And if you have any questions, if you're thinking about refinancing, selling, we're here to help. As well as if you just want little helpful tips or have an idea for a video of some form of information that you'd like to know, let us know. We're here to help. We have fun doing this. We love coming up with new ideas to provide you with quality information to help your home experience as well as raise the value of our neighborhood.
Again, we just want to thank you for your time and we hope to see you on our next video.
Take care.
Bye.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Do I keep them?
Wait.
And we're your neighborhood realtors.
Whoa, I just bounced to run the video. Let's try that again.
Okay. All right, hi, I'm David.
And I'm Melissa.
And we're your neighborhood realtors.
I did it again.
I think I'm doing it.
Okay.
I get excited about neighborhood realtors.
Okay.
Hi, I'm David.
Around about why the different neighborhoods have seen such a different variation in pricing over the last few years. He's really excited too.
He's actually making fun of us because this video is actually about an hour and a half long, but we've condensed it down to the 20-25 minutes it is. Our friends and family and clients.
He was over
We're going to be focused on the neighborhoods south of Hamilton in between Armstrong and Temperance.
These homes are mainly Dr. Horton and
Lennar.
I don't know. We were
I'm
both
so
like,
Do I talk?
ah!
Please Fresno, and I already have screwed this up. So let's keep talking and make noises because that's what we're good at doing.
Stop!
Hi, I'm David.
Wait.
Hi, I'm David.
Wait.
Hi, I'm David. Hi, I'm David.
Don't do it again. I had my eyes closed.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Melissa.
And we're specialized in Southeast. Hi, I'm David.
On current market trends and how our neighborhoods are comparing to the rest of us. Sorry, I was so good until I said the rest of